Hello everybody, welcome back. Week 12, final week, ARCA, short track. One of my favorite things to do in ARCA. We are here at what is known as Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis on here. I think officially now it is actually known as Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Should be a good time. Gonna go out for qualifying. Just caught a split. I think we're second split, so just came up a little short of making the top split. Tried to attempt a Tour Modified Fixed Series race here to start the week off and got to a wreck about halfway through. And unfortunately, it required repairs for the rest of the race, so just withdrew and then jumped into this one. Line's a little bit different, but kind of similar. I think Darlington just not quite as much to the wall, but you're still kind of diamonding the corner, entering somewhere around the middle, working up, and then come back to the bottom. I'm not quite as quick as some of the guys I've seen. I've seen some guys getting themselves in the 22.6s in qualifying. I just probably will be in the 9s. I'm going to see if we can shoot for, get close to that 895 though, for the second lap, or 855, excuse me. Try to put myself as close to the front as I can. I think third's not a bad start, but I think we can go a little bit quicker. Trying to get a little bit of time here through 3 and 4. Definitely rolling it on the right front a bit more than I will be in the race. I'm going to try to save that right front a little bit more. See if we can get anything out of it. I'll take an 826. I don't know if it's going to be good enough for the pole. Right now it is, so not crazy impressive. Like I said, it's not a top split, so not worth as much, but when you're car number 3, I guess not a bad thing. Grab the pole by 100th of a second or so. That's the big thing, is just try to have the track position and get away. That's going to be the biggest deal, is just trying to get away from everybody. 50 laps, kind of a standard short track amount. We're going to try to do what we can. I think it's going to be pretty tough to pass. It's going to be really interesting when I get to lap traffic to see what they do and where I need to go. Made a slight change to the steering offset, went from -2 to -6, and the brake bias is back from 68 to 65. Otherwise, left the ratio the same. Get gridded up here, pull up session best lap. Like I said, we're gonna lay off of the entries if I can. I want to try to roll it a lot more into the corners, be a lot smoother with it, and not really, force it too hard on the right front like I did in qualifying. Get a little bit of heat into the brakes and the tires. Check the fuel. Gotta hopefully not, and I'm gonna try to watch getting on the throttle out of the corner as well. I don't want to slide the tires at all. Don't want to run the possibility of looping it off. I haven't run any of the practice sessions in this to see. I just ran practice on my own in a test session. So I don't know if people are having issues with looping the thing off the corner, or if it's not been too bad of a problem. In Tour Modifieds, people were definitely having problems with looping it off the corner in the practices, so hopefully we don't have that problem. Should be a pretty fun race, even if it is, kind of close to a single groove. Tour Modifieds were running like the top up against the wall for the first half of the corner, then kind of cutting down in the middle of the second half of the corner. I don't think that line's quite as good here in ARCA. Diamonding it seems to be a little bit of a better way to go. And if I remember correctly, a few months ago, watching the real life ARCA race here, that was kind of a similar line some of those guys were taking. So,
okay, Jake, are you ready? Watch for the
gonna wait, keep it constant pace, and then get ready to go here. We'll just get a run out of turn 4. Try to work by the 5 if we can. Not the best start. 5 and 8 both get a pretty good start. Like I said, big thing is just to be as smooth as I can. I'm not going to be throwing it into the corners like I did in qualifying. I'm going to be working the throttle a lot smoother. Still have typically been wearing the right front more than the right rear, but try to balance it out as much as we can. I think maybe later on in the run, if I need to get extra rotation in the corner, I may try to jump on the throttle a little bit in the center of the corner to help it rotate. Decent start so far. Not seeing any smoke, so seems like for the most part everybody's gotten off clean. It's tire management. It's rolling the center as much as possible. working it off the exit as clean as possible as well. This could be the key. Got almost a half-second lead over the 5 right now.
Come on, there's no reason for that.
Lap cars starting to show up on the relative. We got one slow here going into turn 1. See where he ends up.
Alright, Jake, we're matching race pace.
See what the 5 and the 8 also do if they keep catching us. Kind of just running it at like 90% right now. I feel like I could probably push a little bit more, but just trying to manage the tires as best as I can, give myself a little bit more grip later on. 5 loops it off of 4. Not sure if the 8 got into him, but either way, he falls back now. A little loose there in turn 2. 8 pushes up, 9 almost looked to the inside. And we are slowly catching the 17. 11's on pit road, 12's showing us the next lap car on the track. He's about a third of the lap ahead.
23.01.
Kind of cut down a little bit lower than I wanted there too, out of turn 2. Kind of working somewhere between that second lane marker and the seam, one seam down from the top. Coming up on the 17, we'll try to cut underneath him. It's going to be a bit sketchy getting onto the flatter part of the corner. Clear him going into 3. 8 does a really good job. Is he going to slide up into him, or is he going to be able to complete the pass off of 4? Looks like he does. So 8 gained a good amount of time out of that. Gap's now down to 4/10 of a second.
Time was at 23.46.
Wish I could have caught the top split. Lost my rating in that tour mod race. Not sure how much, since I just quickly jumped into practice for this. It seems like, at least so far, I've got the pace to have run halfway decent. But it's also very, very early on. We're only working lap 9.
You've just done a 23.
Overshot turn 1 a little bit there. One away from the 8. Looks like he also shot up high and won that last time through. Kind of using that little bit of extra banking on the top side as like a kind of like a cushion, like you're just bouncing it off of it and then coming back down, getting a little momentum off of it. Really just trying to be as smooth as I can through the corners. A little bit of splits here between the top 3. 0.7 back to the 8, 1.4 to the 9, and then 2.5 back to the 10. A little bit of shade there on 3 and 4. Hopefully give us a little bit of grip off the corners. Everybody's staying pretty even with each other in terms of pace. Nate picks up just a little bit that time through 1 and 2. Like I said, I really feel like I'm just kind of driving it at like 90%. And just trying to manage the race, manage the tires, drive as hard as I need to. Probably should try to open the gap up as much as possible, but worried if I try to push it that I'm going to make a mistake and give up time that I don't need to. I see the 8 start catching, I'll try to pick up the pace, but for right now I'm pretty happy with the gap we've got and the pace that I'm running.
That lap time was 23.42.
Nice to have a clean track up in front too. Seems like it's really cleaned up. As I say that, I get into the wall there going into 3. Somehow no 0x. And we somehow actually pick up a 10th on the 8.
Your lap time was 23.
And now what I was going to say is the 12, 13, and 14 are lap cars up ahead, but there's a good amount of time up to them. Not even seeing them as I come off of 2. So we got a clean track up ahead to focus on. Just got to focus on hitting my marks. Not get it too wide. If you didn't see the rookie MX5 race, I talked about making a cockpit camera adjustment. I had my FOV set correctly, but experimenting with shifting the X offset back to kind of make it, you know, feel like I'm sitting further back in the seat, and I feel like that's definitely kind of helped with my driving. I feel like I'm hitting things a little more consistently, for me at least, and lap times seem to have picked up. So I transferred the same offset over to ARCA, tested it, felt pretty comfortable with it. So still going to continue to do more testing on all the oval cars to see if there's different settings in each car I like, but that's why you're seeing a little bit more in this one compared to the last time I ran ARCA, and I feel like it's definitely helped. Still very early on here, not to lap 20 yet. Gap staying pretty consistent with the 8. Got it at 0.9 now. Looks like the 9's trying to catch him. It's broken away from the 10. Best thing I could have happen is that the 9 catches the 8. They get into some side-by-side battles, and it continues to allow me to open up the gap more. A little loose there off of turn 4. Just a bit too much slide for what I want. Just need to work the throttle a little bit smoother. Get the car pointed a little bit straighter off the corner before I start rolling into it.
Try to keep up.
The gap behind is now 1.00.
We're gonna have 20 down, 30 to go this time by. A little loose there off of turn 4. Add another 10th or so to the lead. A little slow through the middle of 1 and 2, but no big deal. 10 falling off a little bit more. 9 kind of stalling out as well, not catching the 8 as much now. Slowly pulling away, but I guess just running at like 90%, just kind of managing the tires, managing the race. If we were in the top split with a lot of faster guys, I'm sure I'd be getting eaten up or having to push it a little bit harder. Wish I would have been in that. I'd rather be a low number car or a high number car in a top split and have a lot of fast guys to contend against than, you know, be something like this from car number 3 in a lower split.
The gap behind is now
It's just the competitive nature in me. Gap's almost up to a 2.5 seconds now. Feel like the 8 might be falling off a little bit.
That lap was at 23.6.
Almost halfway now. Be on lap 25 this time by. Really have not run, I don't think I've run any official races here. Because the week the late model open series was here, I built the setups, but I never actually ran one, so it's the first time I've seen this track in official action outside of the attempt at the Tour Mod Fixed race. So just using the knowledge that I had from doing all that late model testing to kind of figure out what seems to work. Nine's fallen back a good bit from the 8.
Fuel's good.
And the 10's almost 5 seconds back now. I kind of overshot 1 there, pushed up a bit high. Gets me a little bit of a better launch off of 2 though. Gap's 1.4 back to the 8, another 1.4 back to the 9.
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 1.55. You've just done
Lap cars are a little bit slower than us, but not crazy slow, so just starting to see them off out the side window. Not a factor yet. I don't know if they'll actually be a factor if they can keep it clean the rest of the way. Kind of using that throttle to get a little rotation there off of turn 4. Starting to open up a little bit more on the 8. Getting Can't say I've had a run like this in ARC in a while. Wish I could have contended against the top guys and seen what I could have done, but we'll get it next season. A little too early on the throttle there in the middle of 1 and 2. Lap 30 this time. Worried that I'm starting to overheat the right front a bit too much.
2.0 seconds.
We're still continuing to open the gap up on the 8. 2 seconds now. Nine's falling off.
That was at 23.71.
10's not falling off quite as hard from the 9 as the 9 is from the 8, but 10's still falling off quite a bit. Big separation in the top 4. We got lap traffic about 5 seconds ahead, 19 to go this time by. Way too early on the throttle there. Needed to roll the center of that corner a lot more. At least we really haven't had much to contend in the way of lap traffic or wrecks. It's actually been a pretty clean race, so I cannot complain about that compared to, you know, like at South Boston earlier this season. I think the fields might be a little bit smaller and it's been pretty clean. I mean, even compared to Myrtle Beach, this has actually been, I think, cleaner. This is a little bit longer of a track compared to Myrtle Beach, but still considered a short track in my opinion. Almost 3 seconds gap now.
Well, that was at 23.79.
Feel like saving tires at the beginning probably was the right move. He seems to be really falling off. And I still really don't feel like pushing all that hard. I feel like I might be working it off the corners a little bit more. Kind of where I over-rotated there. But I don't really feel like I'm driving it any harder than I did at the beginning of the race. Almost 3 seconds now to the 8, 5 seconds back to the 9, almost 7 seconds back to the 10. 15 to go. Trying to get the lap times a little more consistent. I know they can be a little bit faster than what I ran the last time by. Try to use this as practice for that. See how much I can improve my consistency. I think that's one of the things that'll really take me to the next level, being able to do the same thing every time. Slower in line that time through 3 and 4. We'll dial it back in just a little bit.
The gap behind is now 3.8 seconds.
Almost 3.5 seconds for a lead now. No pressure at all. Just cruising with the lead. Grabbing that pole really helped. Allowed me to just get into my rhythm right away, start clicking off the laps.
Lap times are pretty consistent.
Big wreck up here. We're gonna go low. Just get down to the bottom, avoid the 12. Not really worried about the lap time. Just wanted to clear him with no issues. Looks like the 8 gets by him, 9 gets by him. Gap's almost 4.5 now, so definitely have plenty of time to just slow down and take the easy way around that spin. That's the first one that we've seen around us. 16's gonna be working to the inside. We'll see where he comes off the corner. Clear him down the front stretch. Thank you, 16. Lap traffic being really kind so far. And we had the 17 take the high line, which I wish he would have taken the bottom, but we worked by him with no problem. It's actually the next one in front of us, but I don't think we'll get to him. 8 to go this time by. Almost 5 seconds for a lead now. Another spin up here. Looks like it is the 12 again, so we'll stay high this time, which makes it even easier to get by him. He spun going into 1. Overshot turn 3 a little bit there. A little loose there off of turn 4. Lap 45. Got a big group of lap cars up here. Have to watch out for some of them. Looks like the 4s run on the outside. 17, 14 are lined up on the inside. They're about 2.5 ahead. 5 to go.
That was a 23.90.
Gap's up to almost 6 seconds now.
The gap behind is now 6.3 seconds.
8 still holding down second. Everybody gets single filed up ahead.
24.00.
Honestly, if I get to him, I may just drop the pace down, just right in behind him, since we're only going to have 3 to go this time by. No real reason to push it.
Your lap time was
Like
23.
Lead of almost 6.5 seconds. There's no reason to take any risks here. I don't get any more points or any more glory by winning with a bigger margin. 14's running the high side. 4 in the 7 and in the lower mid spot. Corners. 2 to go. Kind of overdrove turn 1 there.
2 laps left.
Just watch where the 4 and the 17 are going to go. So the 4 is going to stay low. Just keep behind the 17 on the outside. Clear the 4, no problem. Thank you to him for being kind. Wow, stepped on the throttle a little too hard there. White flag.
1 more lap to go. Stay focused. The gap behind is now 8.0 seconds.
Not the best exit out of 2, but just keeping it straight is all I need. ARCA win. Nice to have let it wire to wire, take advantage of starting on the pole.
Great job. Well done.
Like I said, I hate it. I wish I could have caught that top split. I feel like it would have been a much, much better test of, you know, what I had actually learned where I was rather than, you know, running this, but thanks. Nice run there. Did you get into the 5 or did he just self-spin in front of you? Take a look at the tires 1 second. Looks like
You think, Brian, I've earned a safe driver award?
fairly clean. Some people hitting walls, maybe spinning a little bit, but 81, 89 definitely leaned on that right front a bit too much. There was a few times that I overdrove entry, so a lot more to work on that way, but
Brian,
overall pretty clean.
I tried to pass him for 25 legs.
Let's take a look at the back. Start, look at all the incidents. Drop the camera down a little bit for you guys. right. So 19's just gonna self-spin off the corners. Yeah, it's kind of tight through the center in my opinion. So if you get on the throttle and you have too much wheel into it, it's just real easy to spin it off the corners. I think you're gonna see the 12 just push up, drag the wall. 17's just in front of the 12. He's a little slow. 12 misjudged it. 12 drove right into the back of him, sent the 17 around. 12 gets the wall again. 14 clears him. 12's gonna go. That looks intentional there. And that was the 11, excuse me. Let's rewind and see what the heck the 12 was so unhappy about with the 11. So 12 gets into the 17, and then the 11 just gets into the back of the 12 going into 1 somehow. And then the 12 is just going to let him have it. Fortunately, the 4 gets caught up in that. And then the 12 is going to give it back to him again. So not really sure why he's quite so upset about that one. Plus, they've had some history. Okay, so the 5 just self-spun. Just flat out self-spun. He just did the exact same thing, had a little too much wheel in it, get on the throttle a little too hard, and just sent himself around. Out of 4, 10's going to push up, get the wall. Yep. Kind of run a Darlington style line, and it's real easy to get the car up in the wall and get it attached and drag like that. 5 did it. 16's going to do it. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that. 8's going to do it. Yep. 15 also going to do it. Yep. 9 going to do it. 9 kind of almost gets into a 4-wheel slide, just slides up the track, gets to it. 14 drags it going into 1. 14, not sure why he showed up again. 5's gonna self-spin, almost self-spins off of 4, catches it. Just a slight, tiny netcode drag. Gets the wall that time, though. Dragging it again. 4 gonna get it in the center of the corner. Yep. 6 gets it out of 2. 16 get a little loose there, tries to catch it. Maybe a tiny drag with the right rear. 16's working the bottom. 1 gets loose, gets it in front of the 5. 16 gonna get it again in the center of 1 and 2. Yep. 9 pretty hard into it. 17. Not sure what he's showing up for there. 16 again. Out of 2. Yep. Right rear into it. 17 with the drag down the backstretch. 13 trying to work towards the 4, pushes up. 15's going to work to his inside. 7's going to push. 12 getting into the 15. And then the 14 just gets in the back of the 12 and hooks him. So I'm sure the 12's going to not be happy with the 14. 16 goes to the bottom, going to push way wide. Staves it. 12 works the inside of the 20, gets loose, snaps around. Okay, this is when we went by him when he was spun into 1. So that's what happened there. You're going to see me coming right here. There's where I went around him. 10's going to get for a slide and nose the right front into the front stretch. 1 going to get loose off the 4 trying to catch it. Barely dragging that right rear. 4 gets it. A little bit of contact there. 10 pushing up. And that was it. So 12 did not go back to get the 14. Decent race. We'll take a look at the results. I got as much as I could out of it. 0x pole. Hopefully fast lap. Yeah, we just missed out on that top split. That would have been a decent one to be in too. Let's see. Decent people, and it looks like I had needed to be close to a 30-50-ish. Looks like to have made it. Yeah, 30, 48, 30, 50. So a little bit short of it, but let's also take a look. I want to see where I lined up. So little bit of safety rating gain, 0.22, decent amount of I rating, 75. So I think I came in like 2950 or something like that. So lost like 50 in that tour mod race. Tough break there because I felt like I was a top 5 car in that one too, and I was like car number 9 in that one. But looks like we did not have the fastest lap. That belonged to the 9 with a 22.870. Yeah, it's the fastest one I see. Glad to keep it clean though. Led all the laps. The track position was huge, man. Almost just a little over an 8-second lead, and that was again with me kind of taking it easy behind the 17 and the 4. 23.663 was the average. I want to see where that would have put me. That would have put me running second in that one. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say where I would have qualified because it looks like for qualifying, I would not have been anywhere near it. I would have been like 7th or 8th, but would have been nice to have seen if I could have ran like top 5 in that top split. But feel pretty happy with that one overall. So feel free to leave any feedback. Love to hear from you guys. I know everybody else is going to be putting theirs out. You'll see some top split races as well. So hopefully you can kind of learn from everybody. Maybe take behind just as entertainment. See what a different perspective with the camera offset is like. So hopefully you guys enjoy that one. Try to get some better stuff in for week 12 and set us up for a little bit of racing in week 13 and then the start of season 4. So hopefully you guys enjoy that one. And until the next one, I hope all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.